Before she became a symbol, before her torch lit the sky, before millions looked up and saw hope, she was only an idea, an impossible idea, born not in America, but in France, forged not in peace, but in political revolution, built not for beauty alone, but for freedom itself. And yet today, standing in New York Harbor, she is recognized across the planet as the face of liberty, democracy, and opportunity. This is not just the story of a statue. This is the story of a promise. This is the story of Lady Liberty, the woman who welcomed the world. In the mid-19th century, the world was changing. Monarchies were collapsing, republics were rising, and ideas about freedom, equality, and democracy were spreading across continents. France, still wrestling with its own political identity after revolutions and empires, looked across the Atlantic to the young United States, a nation founded on ideals that France itself admired and had helped bring into existence. One French intellectual and abolitionist, Édouard René de La Boulaye, believed that America's survival as a democracy after the Civil War deserved to be celebrated, not with words, but with a monument. He envisioned a massive statue that would honor liberty and the friendship between France and the United States. But La Boulaye knew an idea alone was not enough. He needed an artist. He found one in Frederick Auguste Bartholdi, a sculptor with a passion for monumental works and a fascination with classical symbolism. Bartholdi imagined a towering female figure inspired by Roman goddesses and ancient colossi, holding a torch, not of fire, but of enlightenment, lighting the path to freedom. Originally, Bartholdi dreamed of placing such a statue at the entrance of the Suez Canal in Egypt, but the project failed. Yet the idea stayed alive. When La Boulaye proposed the monument to America, Bartholdi knew he had found the perfect home for his vision. In 1871, Bartholdi traveled to the United States in search of a site worthy of such a symbol. As his ship entered New York Harbor, he saw a small island, Bedloe's Island, standing at the gateway to the city. In that moment, he knew. This was where liberty would stand, towering above the harbor, greeting every ship arriving from distant shores, not as a ruler, not as a conqueror, but as a guardian. The statue was named Liberty Enlightening the World, and its mission was bold. France would build the statue. America would build the pedestal. Together, they would build a monument to freedom. But turning vision into reality would take more than idealism. It would take engineering brilliance, artistic mastery, and extraordinary public support. Bartholdi designed the statue's outer form, crafting Lady Liberty's calm face, flowing robe, raised torch, and broken chains at her feet, a powerful symbol of emancipation and the end of oppression. Her crown would feature 7 rays representing the 7 continents and 7 seas, declaring liberty universal, not limited to any nation. In her left arm, she would hold a tablet inscribed with July 4th, 1776, July 4th, 1776, the date of American independence. But creating a statue over 300 feet tall from ground to torch was unprecedented. Bartholdi needed a genius engineer. He found one in Gustave Eiffel, the same man who would later build the Eiffel Tower. Eiffel designed a revolutionary iron framework that would allow the statue's copper skin to move independently from its skeleton, bending in strong winds and expanding in heat without cracking. This was cutting-edge engineering, a marriage of art and science, unlike anything the world had ever seen. But
even with genius design, there was one problem: money. Neither France nor America had the funds ready to build such a monument. So the people stepped in. In France, donations came from school children, workers, and artists. Fundraisers included public events, concerts, and lotteries. In America, however, enthusiasm was slower, especially for the pedestal, which would cost over $250,000, a massive sum at the time. Construction stalled. The statue was nearly complete in Paris, but there was nowhere to put her. That's when one man changed everything. Joseph Pulitzer, publisher of the New York World newspaper, launched a nationwide fundraising campaign. He promised to print the name of every donor, no matter how small, in his newspaper. Thousands of ordinary Americans responded. School children sent pennies, immigrants sent coins, working-class families mailed whatever they could spare. Liberty was being built not by governments, but by the people. In Paris, artisans hammered over 300 copper sheets by hand, shaping Lady Liberty piece by piece. Her arm holding the torch was completed first and displayed at international exhibitions, including the Centennial Exhibition in Philadelphia in 1976, allowing Americans to climb inside the torch years before the statue even arrived. By 1884, the statue was finished in France. Standing 151 feet tall and over 300 feet with pedestal, she was the largest statue ever constructed in the modern world. But now came the next challenge: moving her across the Atlantic Ocean.
The statue was disassembled into 350 pieces, packed into 214 crates, and shipped aboard a French naval vessel to New York in 1885. When the crates arrived at the harbor, crowds gathered along the docks, watching as Liberty's face, hands, and crown were unloaded one by one. Meanwhile, the pedestal, designed by American architect Richard Morris Hunt, rose from the stone foundation on Bedloe's Island. Its massive concrete core and granite exterior were engineered to support the statue's immense weight and withstand the harsh harbor winds. At last, in October 1886, everything was ready. On October 28, 1886, before thousands of spectators and dignitaries, President Grover Cleveland dedicated the Statue of Liberty. Parades marched through Manhattan, ships filled the harbor, cannons fired, bands played, flags waved. But in a powerful irony of history, women were barred from attending the dedication ceremony, despite the statue representing freedom itself. Still, when Lady Liberty was unveiled, her torch raised high above the harbor, the world changed. Not because of her size, but because of what she represented. At first, the statue symbolized freedom and Republican values, but she soon became something even greater. She became a beacon for immigrants. In 1892, Ellis Island opened just across the water from Liberty Island. Over the next 3 decades, more than 12 million immigrants passed through its halls, fleeing poverty, war, persecution, and despair in search of opportunity. For them, the Statue of Liberty was not an artwork. She was the first promise. As ships entered New York Harbor, exhausted families crowded the decks. Many had spent weeks in steerage, seasick and terrified. They spoke dozens of languages. They carried little more than hope. And then they saw her, a towering woman of copper and light, holding a torch, offering welcome. And in that moment, everything changed. In 1903, a bronze plaque was installed on the statue, bearing a poem by Emma Lazarus titled "The New Colossus." Its words would forever redefine liberty's meaning. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore.
Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. These lines transformed Lady Liberty from a political monument into a moral symbol, not just of freedom, but of refuge. She became the mother of immigrants, the guardian of second chances, the silent witness to millions of beginnings. But time, weather, and pollution began to take their toll. By the early 20th century, Liberty's copper skin had oxidized, turning her from shiny brown to the soft green patina we recognize today. Her torch leaked, her structure weakened, water damaged her framework, corrosion threatened her stability. She was aging, and she needed saving. In the 1930s, President Franklin Roosevelt declared the statue part of the National Park Service, ensuring her protection and restoration. Major repairs were conducted throughout the decades, but the most ambitious restoration effort would come nearly 100 years after her arrival. In 1984, the Statue of Liberty was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognizing her global cultural significance. Then, for her 100th centennial in 1986, the United States and France partnered again, just as they had a century earlier, to restore her completely. The project cost over $87 million, funded largely through private donations. Engineers replaced her internal iron framework with stainless steel. The torch was reconstructed and covered in gold leaf. Her crown was reinforced. Her flame was relit brighter than ever. When the restoration was completed, Lady Liberty shone once again, stronger, safer, and more radiant than at any point in her history. But Liberty's meaning has evolved with time. She has stood through 2 world wars, through civil rights movements, through moments of triumph and trauma. After September 11, 2001, she watched as smoke rose over the skyline she had guarded for more than a century. Liberty Island closed for months, then years, reopening not as a tourist attraction, but as a symbol of resilience. Her torch remained raised, not in defiance, but in endurance. Today, more than 4 million visitors come to see her every year, climbing her pedestal, standing in her crown, gazing from her torch, and learning her story. Yet what draws them isn't just copper or stone, it's meaning. She reminds the world that freedom is not guaranteed. It must be built, defended, and renewed. She reminds nations that liberty without justice is hollow. She reminds humanity that hope must be visible, not hidden. The Statue of Liberty is more than metal and mortar. She is an idea made visible. She is rebellion turned into sculpture. She is democracy carved in copper. She is integration embodied in stone. She is America's promise, not to itself, but to the world. Every torch she lifts asks the same question: who belongs? And every year, millions answer: we all do.
The Statue of Liberty does not speak. She does not move. She does not shout. Yet, for nearly 140 years, she has said more than any monument ever built. She has said, freedom is worth crossing oceans for. Hope is worth risking everything for. And opportunity is worth believing in, even when the world says otherwise. She stands not because copper holds her up, but because history holds her meaning. And as long as people search for dignity, justice, and a better future, her torch will never go dark. If you believe stories like this matter, stories of empires, leaders, monuments, and moments that shaped humanity, then welcome to Explainary, where we don't just tell history, we explain why it matters. Subscribe, like,
and turn on notifications for more cinematic documentaries every week. See you in the next story.